Lacey is an Air Force veteran, military spouse, speaker, and financial coach.
I started it in North Carolina, talking to a lot of people, coaching a lot of people, having conversations, help people, individuals in the military community, whether they're active duty or a veteran. There are a lot of active duty service members that attend Mill Money Con that are interested in a career in finance after they leave service.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast, where you can escape the corporate trap through franchise ownership. Here's your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, the Franchise Guide.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, your Franchise Guide, the show where we help corporate executives experience time and financial freedom via franchising. We have a very exciting show for you today. I got your feedback. Sounds like you're sick of just seeing me. So we decided to bring guests back on for 2024. People and their experts in their backgrounds and kind of what they do. And today we have Lacey Langford, and a quick little bio, and we'll introduce Lacey here. Lacey is an Air Force veteran, military spouse, speaker, and financial coach who changes people's lives from being fearful of money to having control and confidence with it. She's an accredited financial counselor with over 15 years of financial planning, counseling, and coaching experience. Lacey is the founder of Milmo, a community dedicated to helping the U.S. military with personal finance. She's the host of the Milmo Show, a podcast that helps the military community make, save, and invest money wisely. Lacey is also the founder and CEO of Mill Money Con. Lacey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been we were just talking. I think it's been about 3 years since we had you on the show. Our good friend who's actually coming back on the show, Rocky Lalvani from Profit First, introduced us. I guess we gave a little bit of your bio, but give us a little bit of background as to kind of what you've been up to in the last few years.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Still doing the podcast. I'm really passionate about helping the military community with money and entrepreneurship. So that's kind of something that's evolved with Milmo and gone through a rebrand. I was the Military Money Show, so that's changed in the last few years now to Milmo, and then starting a conference, bringing together financial professionals that are affiliated with the military in some way. They're veterans or military spouses. There are a lot of active duty service members that attend Mill Money Con that are interested in a career in finance after they leave service. And so I'm trying to rally the community to help each other out with our careers. I believe rising tides lift all ships. So coming together and helping make the transition out of the military, helping military spouses work as financial professionals in a way that maybe might be not traditional for other people, but can work around military life, whether that's freelancing as a para planner or being a writer or, preschool hours, three times a week, 3 hours. So it's really about helping the community.
Gotcha. So what happens, coming out of the military, as far as the preparation there of knowing those next steps? I can tell you from going, you go from high school to college, preparation sometimes for the real world, there's a combination. What school you went to, what classes you took. So from the prep that you're receiving, when people are coming out of the military, are they just kind of like, all right, what is next? Are you helping them on their, not just their money, but kind of the path, the specific careers that they're getting into, I guess is my question.
So really the companies that I have are two separate. So with Milmo, definitely helping service members and their families and veterans with finances. So if you're active duty, yes, definitely helping you prepare for your future self, whether that's you're getting out in 3 years or you're getting out in 20 years, helping you anything make, save, and invest money wisely. And a lot of that has to do helping military spouses understand money and building a career around military life. So often they're or underemployed, and that impacts their family finances. So really all the things that come with that, whether that's budgeting or that's using their thrift savings plan to save for their retirement. And then what to do with that after you get out. Military spouses having multiple IRAs, how to handle that from all the different jobs that they've had. So Milmo really covers a lot of that. But with Mill Money Con, really helping the community if they do, like I said, on active duty, want to become a financial professional, helping them understand the playing field, the different positions they can play, what that income looks like, what that daily work looks like. Same thing with military spouses. So it's really, there's two lines of effort, is helping each other in this career field, getting mentorship and guidance also being able to make a good living at it, not just doing volunteer work, which is unfortunately a lot of things that happen to military spouses. To be able to have a career, it ends up being volunteer work. And the other line of effort is to increase education, be better at your craft, knowing the latest information, whether that's on investments or government regulations on things. Right. So there's a couple of different things going on with MilMoneyCon too.
I like that. It's confusing. It's overwhelming. I feel like even as a finance major and went back for grad school, I feel like some of the schools tend to focus on certain areas and ignore others. And the joke I always had was, come out, you know what mutual fund or how to value a stock, but couldn't balance your checkbook. So I felt like the budgeting piece was the personal finance piece was missed, or maybe it was assumed. I know I learned that as a kid growing up. My parents showed me how to balance a checkbook, and they did not go to college. So that interesting. So it sounds like it's full service, right? You're covering career finance. What I guess MilMoneyCon. So the conference, when was that started, and kind of what caused you to I guess start that? That's a live conference, correct? You said
yes, in person once a year. Well, it really came out of the work that I do as a financial coach and doing the podcast, talking to a lot of people, coaching a lot of people, having conversations, and starting to see that it actually might help people, individuals in the military community, whether they're active duty or a veteran, and military spouses, if we as financial professionals got together and started realizing how other people are working. So I feel like a stronger financial force, stronger veteran force will lead to a stronger military force. So a lot of times people are operating in silos. So I hear all the time, I'm going to do this thing for the military community because nobody's helping them with money and it, needs to be done. I'm like, you're right. Definitely great service, great idea, but there's like 10 other people doing it. You just didn't know about it.
Right.
And then I'll, talk to somebody and be like, I sure wish the Department of Defense or the VA would have this resource, and they don't have it. I'm like, actually they do. You just weren't aware of it. And there's a lot of people like me that have a microphone, and there are people that have a message that need that shared, great information that can help my community. And then, also the earning component of it. Again, going back to military spouses not making a good living as a financial professional because of the constant moving.
Right.
And then also too, like people working in, commission-based roles as financial planners and realizing maybe they don't enjoy that. They'd rather be a paraplanner or a fee-only planner. And so I thought bringing everybody together could help solve a lot of these problems or start conversations. And so about 3 years ago, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to bring everybody together. I started it in North Carolina. And then last year it was in Nashville. And this year it was in Denver.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. The live in person. I know we kind of, got away from that with the last 3 or 4 years, but the in-person dynamic is huge. Talk to us, an interesting stat, going back. Talking about the military, I did not know this until I was doing a little bit of homework for our show. And I read that 1 in 6 franchise owners are served in the military. Why do you think so many people, kind of in your opinion, that served in the military, make great franchise owners or get into business ownership? Maybe that's a better question.
I really think a lot of it, comes to getting out of the military is a huge identity shift. And in the military, you have a lot of responsibility. It's serious business, and you're used to structure, discipline, being self-motivated. You have a mission or a plan or a job that you're supposed to do, and everybody is counting on you to do that. Right. And so service members and veterans are really great about being able to get the instructions and execute and do it really well and pull through with what they say they're going to do. And so I think that's why they're really great business owners, as they, it requires a lot of self-discipline to get up every day, to work longer hours, to make sure things are done right, to make sure that there's no problems in the future, to get ahead of things. So I think that's why they're really great business owners. And then for franchise owners, I think having infrastructure already created is appealing probably to a lot of veterans that, yes, want to be in my own business, but there's this learning curve getting out of the military. And so having a franchise is a really great way to own your business, but have that infrastructure given to you. And then the instructions like, okay, now I know what to do. I can do this really well. And I'm sure a lot of veteran franchise owners are killing it because they take ownership of what they're supposed to take ownership of and do that really well and not really worried about what other people are doing. So I think those are some of the reasons.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's the infrastructure, the playbook laid out, and it's not that it's easier in any way, but you can run kind of with that proven system. The transferable skills, as you mentioned, the leadership, the management, and things like that are, believe it or not, transferable in just about every industry. If you're a great leader, it doesn't matter to an extent. Actually, maybe it doesn't matter, period, whatever industry you're getting into, if you're able to lead people and lead people effectively, obviously. But I think that that could work in just about any industry. Prior to the show, I always send an email, the invitation, talking about kind of, some areas, some talking points, or, three areas we can discuss. And one of the third one you had mentioned, and I'm just looking here at my notes, finding time and creating space to be creative and have new ideas for the business, even though there's always something to do. And I wanted to talk about this topic because I know, as a business owner as well, there's so many different things going on, and it's just like, I feel like there's never that quiet time to really work. I feel like it's to-do list, and not getting that time to be creative. So talk to us maybe about how you go about it, and maybe some tips, because there's just so many things going on as a business owner.
Yes, there are a lot of things going on, and there will always be a lot of things going on. And I said that because I'm totally guilty. I'm much better about it now, but it does feel overwhelming sometimes. Well, yes, I got all of these things done. I got recorded. I've done my coaching clients, but like, I got to work on SEO. I've got to work on social media. Like, there are things that, you should be doing, but the list never ends. And so I think, first of all, coming to terms with that, to realize you always have something to do, but you do also have to take care of yourself and then grow your business, or at least stay on pace. Because if you have your head in the sand and are just knocking stuff off your to-do list and not paying attention to your industry or what's going on around in the world, things like that, that could have a negative impact on your business. But then also too, you can't see things. You can't get outside of your bubble. So I try to intentionally push out, so I have a little bit of space so I can look at things. I do try to get outside every day. It's not always possible with weather, but that is very helpful to me, going walking or running. And that way I can clear my head. That's why when things get really stressful, I do have to stop and go outside, because I'm like, what, even if I kept working, it's not going to be productive work. Like, I'm just worried. My head's spinning. I'm not really focused. And so I have found that, like, getting away from it for a little bit actually helps me come back in and make a decision quickly, or fix the problem quickly. So I think that's really important, is to, one, take care of your mental and physical health. And then whatever resonates with you. For some people, that might be art, that might be, singing or music or something like that. But for me, getting outside and having time to think and listen to music and things like that, be in fresh air, sunshine, is really helpful, because that's where some of my best ideas come from. To solve a problem, or to see where I should maybe set myself apart in my business, creative ideas I've had for my conference, and really thinking about the customer journey, whether that's somebody that listens to my show, whether that's an attendee at my conference, whether that's a speaker at my conference, whether that's a coaching client. Really be able to think about what it looks like from somebody else's position is helpful to come up with really great ideas and be creative. But again, if you don't make time for that, then it's going to be a problem. And I think if you are bad about doing that, you should put it in your schedule. I try to put in my schedule, go run.
Time block. Yeah. Time block it. Yeah.
Have the little running emoji I put in there, or I'll put a sunshine emoji. Especially at the beginning of the week, I check the weather. And so if it's going to be a rainy day, I'm like, okay, I can knock out a lot of stuff indoors and just know that this is the day to do it. But if it's going to be a beautiful Friday afternoon, then it's all right, I know that that's the time that I've got to do that. And I also have my phone with me most of the time, so I'm able to write things down if I have ideas. So it still cheats at work, but it's okay, I'm going to save that for later to
you're getting it out of your head, I think is the thing, right? Just, all right, I know to do this later on, but you're doing a voice message to remind yourself. And I think that just frees up the creative juices and to figure other stuff out.
Yes. Yeah. But it really is. It's just, you got to get out of your bubble and see things a little bit more clearly. And I didn't know that, or wasn't paying attention to that for a long time, but more and more as things have gotten more stressful, you know, as my businesses have grown and realizing if I don't take care of myself, like this is all going to implode.
Yeah, I mean, right, exactly. What's most important? It's you and your health. It's not, you know, the business is important, but yeah, I second that. You know, figuring out the times you're most, I always say most productive, and taking those walks and just getting away. You know, just sitting there at the desk. Sometimes that 20-minute walk will energize you, and you can get, you know, 5 hours of work done in an hour. You know, depending on how, you know, get that fresh air, get that sunlight. And to your point, time blocking, you know, writing stuff down, I think is big. Believe it or not, I wake up Saturday, I'll sleep. I'll try to get at least, if there's one day I get sleep, is Friday night into Saturday. And when I wake up Saturday, for whatever reason, I guess it's that sleep, my ideas start flowing. So I just start jotting down every idea, just, I guess, from, okay, it's Saturday, you know, we got soccer practice, we're seeing family, we're doing all that. Just a very low key day, and jotting down those ideas. So picking your where you're most productive, I think, is also really helpful. So that's awesome. No, that's I always, you know, I tell everyone on the show, you're going to learn, at least you're going to walk away with a few things, but it's not all business related. It could be personal. Even if you have your job, you know, how can we be more productive, a little happier, you know, that kind of deal. So I appreciate that. Switching gears, and I wish we had hit the record button sooner, since we were talking about it, but talk to us, you know, when I had you on the show, we'll say 3 years ago, talk to us about the rebranding to Milmo from the Military Money Expert. All right, we're going to pause here in the 2-part series and continue next week with Lacey Langford as we talk about helping people, both active duty as well as transitioning out of the military, and our veterans. So thanks for joining us today. Looking forward to part 2 coming up here next week.
Get your finances in order before you try to start a business. I advise people to have your team on deck, tax professional, having a business coach, all of these people where when it goes wrong, you have somebody to call. I think the other part too is the emotional support is huge for me.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to learn how to make the transition from corporate to owning your franchise, join Giuseppe on the next episode. You can also follow on all social media platforms and achieve financial and time freedom today.